Record profits, record layoffs. I can't believe what somebody asked me today. They asked me what I do, and it got me thinking about the challenges of survival and how difficult it is to plan for and to navigate day to day. It's a shame how businesses are bragging about record profits while at the same time they're announcing record layoffs. I mean, can you imagine that? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Just take a look at this one expert explaining the whole thing.
Liz, how concerned are you about what appears to be the spreading of these layoff announcements? It started in tech, but you got news today out of 3M saying they're laying off 2,500 people in the manufacturing sector because of slowing demand. How concerned are you about that?
I think it's going to get worse from here. Every leading indicator suggests that the labor market will weaken. In addition, you've got the Fed. Essentially, they're not gunning for a higher unemployment rate. They've got an unemployment rate about 1% higher than where it is right now in their dots plots and their economic forecast. But what Powell and pretty much every member of the Fed has been very clear about is they want to see a significant dent to labor market demand, sort of crush job openings without causing a significant increase in the unemployment rate. Now we are starting to see some pretty sizable layoffs. Interestingly, they're larger companies, and they're more on the goods side of the economy, where you're still seeing hiring on the services side of the economy. What it should have the effect of doing is continuing to bring down measures of wage growth that are done with averages, like average hourly earnings, because you're now increasingly taking larger wage jobs out of the mix. And the services areas that are hiring, leisure and hospitality as an example, tend to be on the lower end of the wage spectrum. So that's the way the average works. You take some of the larger numbers out, it's going to bring it down. That may be some false hope, or maybe actual justified hope on the inflation side, but it's not necessarily a great sign for the economy more broadly.
In some cases, I've heard of companies like McDonald's offering their workers lower wages just so that they can stay on. I mean, like, how crazy is that? They've got people dependent on jobs, so they're hooking people in with what are essentially slavery wages. What do you guys think? Is the capitalistic machine still working for you? Drop me a quick comment down below. I made a prediction that we would see more layoffs, and unfortunately, we were right. They are preparing to empty bank accounts, and it's a critical point in time leading up to this wipeout that I've been telling you guys about. Now, I hate to say it, but I told you so. But if you've been following the information that I have to bring you, then you already know about the warning signs and the information that I've been sharing with you guys in my videos. McDonald's is cutting pay packages and they're closing stores. And this is just the beginning, folks. Have you heard of what they're doing in the LA metro area? They blasted classical music in train stations to keep homeless people away. Yep, that's where our taxpayer dollars are going, guys. Weaponizing music against the American people. So I hope you're prepared for what is coming. It's going to be tough, but we can definitely get through it together. Also, for the best way to invest in gold or silver, be sure to hit the link in the description down below of this video. Now, really, I just hope that all of these high earners out there making hundreds of thousands of dollars per year or more with their fancy compensation packages, bonus structures, equity programs, and stock options, negotiated all of that during the pandemic are ready for what is coming. These companies are making record profits and record layoffs. There's no honor among thieves, and loyalty and tenure, they mean nothing. So, Google and Amazon have this really interesting approach to encourage employees to resign voluntarily by offering them a 1-year salary incentive. But what happens if you say, no thanks? It's like with eminent domain, where the government offers you some money for your property, but if you refuse, then they end up taking it and you get nothing. So does that mean that if you don't accept Google and Amazon's offer, you get fired and get nothing? No suit for you? I really hope that those high income earners didn't spend all their money like crazy, pretty much thinking that it would never come to an end. Now they could end up being furloughed, forced into retirement, or just another broke employee. No savings, no backup, no investment brokerage account, no cash flow producing assets, no plan, no preparation. It's tough out there. And we hear this all the time from so-called financial gurus. Stop living above your means. But what if you're already living below your means and the math still ain't mathing? What are we supposed to do at that point? All right, folks, so let's get real here. So imagine you're making bank. You're earning hundreds of thousands of dollars a year with bonuses, equity programs, stock options up to the wazoo, only to be furloughed or forced into retirement. Now, that's obviously a real bummer. And it's a likely scenario for many people these days. So what's the solution? Grow your own food? Raise chickens? I mean, that's cool and all, but how's that going to pay for your BMW, the yacht, your monthly credit card payment at Tiffany's jewelry? How about all those fancy vacations? And let's not forget about the wife's new handbags, Birkin bags, Louis Vuitton, and of course the red bottoms, Christian Louis Vuitton. I mean, how are all of these things going to be paid for? Plus, you can't pay the mortgage company with eggs, right? So what's the real plan now? How do you survive when you're buried in debt and potentially facing repossession? It's a tough question, and I don't have all the answers, but let's talk about it because at the end of the day, we're all in this together. So check it out. Apparently, ABC News is taking layoffs real personal. Word is that ABC News president Kim Godwin gave the word on layoffs last month. They're now on a hunt to figure out who's leaking information, and these layoffs are part of the deal. They're trying to make an example out of someone. Can you believe that? It's like they got this whole plan and strategy in place, but they've also got spies in their midst trying to keep people from actually getting the real deal. And you know what they got to do? They got to get rid of the moles, make examples out of people, and let everyone know that they're not playing around. I swear, you got to watch my video on the central bank digital currency, CBDC, taking over US currency and the economy to see exactly what I'm talking about. There's going to be a time when it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Somebody asked if credit unions have to use CBDC, and honestly, I don't think so. They won't exist anymore if they get what they want. A central bank digital currency. Regional banks, smaller banks, local banks, they're going to crush the little guys. Meanwhile, Mickey D's offered some employees a chance to stick around. But that's just proof that companies are taking over. They're making record profits while laying off record numbers of people. And now they're restructuring like crazy. They're cutting compensation, demoting people, taking away titles and benefits. I don't know about you guys, but I've been seeing costs rising like crazy. The last thing I want to do is take a pay cut voluntarily. I mean, let's talk about inflation for a sec. The Fed is patting themselves on the back, thinking that they've got it all under control, but really, all they did was make people earn less money. So yeah, I guess they're pretty happy about that. I remember saying before that they're going to fire the expensive people and just hire cheaper talent. But now they're doing this curveball thing where they're offering people a pay cut. They know people are desperate to keep their jobs, even though it sucks. It's going to have a huge impact on everyone though. I mean, if you take a pay cut, you'd expect to work less, right? But companies are going to expect you to work the same, if not more, for less money. And with prices going up, it's going to be a real struggle. A friend of mine, he's just happy he didn't buy that new truck that he's been looking at. Just stuck with his 2000 Jeep Cherokee and it works just fine. His advice? Times are getting real tough out here, people. Budget and save every penny you can right now. Okay, so here's what I'm hearing. Things are going to get really bad really fast. Like, we're talking about hitting the ground so hard, it's going to make your head spin. The economy is going to go into a tailspin and we're going to end up in a recession or possibly a depression. And that's where things get really chaotic. Not like fistfights in the streets or anything, but more like the economic chaos. There's likely going to be a food shortage. People will be struggling to find work. Lots of people will end up homeless. It's like they're trying to take all of our money away and give it to the people who already have plenty of money. They don't care about us regular folks who just need a little bit of help now and then. It's like a game of musical chairs and the music has stopped, but not everybody's got a seat. If you're not one of the lucky ones, it's going to be a long, hard road ahead. And have you heard about what they did in LA Metro? So check it out. Apparently, the Los Angeles Metro decided to start blasting classical music in a train station where there's a bunch of unhoused people. Lots of the people were super mad about the whole thing, and it's just a way to push unhoused people out of the station. As one classical music lover put it, quote, "I felt very disheartened to see this continuation of music being weaponized because I grew up around classical music. It's hard to see the music that you love be used to make people feel excluded from the public space," end quote. And what does LA Metro have to say about it? A very cold quote, "The idea is to create an atmosphere that is comfortable for spending short amounts of time transitioning through our station, but not conducive to long hours of loitering. We are monitoring the volume of the music as well as customer feedback," end quote. LA Metro said it introduced the measure after violent crimes spiked 24% over the last year in the train stations, along with a surge in overdoses and a drop in ridership. But heck, even the music composer himself was not happy with what they're doing. Quote, "I have not given any permission for my music to be used for these purposes. I believe no form of art should be used to discourage or limit freedoms," end quote. Seriously? So what are they doing to us, guys? Now, I'm no homesteader, but I think that the whole plan, it needs to be modified a bit, perhaps. Days of living a luxurious life are over. Now, I'm not a homesteader myself, but if you're trying to survive by homesteading and living off the land, it's going to be a completely different lifestyle. You won't be able to buy any expensive handbags, yachts, or flashy cars. It's going to be all about your family, getting closer to them, trying to get through these tough times. And I think grocery stores were invented to make us dependent on them instead of being self-sufficient and hunting and gathering our own food. We need to work together as a family and find ways to live without the convenience that we've all been spoiled with for generations. But what do you guys think? What changes have you made in your lifestyle and financial choices lately? Let me know in the comments down below. Well, guys, that's it for today's layoffs update and daily news report. Companies reporting record profits while also delivering record layoffs. McDonald's offering their employees reduced pay, and ABC News just hunting down whistleblowers. Oh, and don't let me forget about the LA Metro blasting classical music at homeless people. It's just sad, guys. That's why we always have to prepare our best out there. Anyway, I have a lot more in store for you guys in coming updates. Definitely one more reason to make sure that you're subscribed and tuned in. Appreciate you dropping a like for the video. Also, share this video with a friend, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Be safe.